2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to Wrestling to the Max Raw Review. That's right. This is the August 8th, 2016 edition for you guys, and we are excited to be here. We've got a lot to get into when it comes to Monday Night Raw. Yes, the road to SummerSlam is still going on. We're not far away from it, and we're getting in depth when it comes to title talk. Trust me, it's really cool. Just to let everybody know, hey, this is a show that we like to, pimp a little bit, but it's also part of a great network, and that is the W2M Network. Everybody go there and check us out. We have a SmackDown live review we'll be doing on Tuesday night. You don't want to miss that as well. Plus, we'll do our normal episodes of Wrestling to the Max, which will be episodes 207, part 1, and actually Tuesday on the download for you, and part 2 on Friday morning on the download for you guys. So we want to give you guys a heads up about that just in case this is your first time checking us out. But besides that, that's just a little housekeeping here. Let's get into this thing, guys. We got some Monday Night Raw to talk about. Go ahead, Sean.
Apologize if I don't know, you were coming in a little weird there at the beginning.
Yeah, you were a little robotic. Robot gear.
Oh, I'm sorry. This we're doing a new thing with Call Note to record our shows, and I think I probably started it a little too fast. Right before we started, so that probably cut me in and out. But here I am. So, are we guys good?
I don't know why I displayed that thing. I forgot it. We didn't change the actual old Raw thing, but that's my bad. I don't know why I played that twice. But anyway, yeah, Raw from Anaheim, California, in the Honda Center. I don't know, you guys. This felt like another one of those just Raws. But I mean, they are gearing up to go to Australia and New Zealand after SmackDown. In fact, SmackDown will, I think, be sans quite a few people, if I'm not mistaken, when we get to that show on Tuesday, Paul. So I guess get ready for some of the top guys not to be there, which could be bad or could be good.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. So we start off with Enzo and Cass. Last week we started off with Sasha and Charlotte, and then Enzo and Jericho showed up. And this time it's Enzo and Cass, and they went through some talking about the deal with Enzo. Was almost had it with Sasha, and then Jericho had to come and ruin it. And I love just some of the stuff that Enzo was talking about here was funny. And Jericho makes some fun about Enzo and Cass, calls Cass Enzo's maid. And then he brings out Kevin Owens, who's watching his back. And love that when they got in the ring, it was funny because there was a part where Jericho was talking about the hip-hop hobbit over there, but he was looking at Cass. And Cass was like, "You were clearly looking right at me." And everybody started laughing. So we have the Jericho and Enzo match that gets made. I thought this was actually pretty good as far as, Enzo's not... I mean, it wasn't anything, again, like totally spectacular or whatever, but I thought Jericho sort of helped Enzo get through this. And Enzo's not known for being the, world-class wrestler or anything, but I think it could have been certainly much worse. And then we get Enzo and Cass and Jericho and Kevin Owens officially made for SummerSlam as well, all in this opening about 30 minutes or so. Gary, you worried about they're going back to that old Raw formula already?
Yeah, it is kind of worrisome a little bit. I can't lie about that. I kind of, have my enjoyments out of this, and then I kind of have those worries you're talking about. This was okay. This really didn't jump off the page for me. I love Enzo and Kaz. Those guys do a great job. Every week I watch them. I just enjoy them, but I don't know. This is not a very heated up feud. I get it. We've had 1 week of Jericho and Enzo going back and forth. That's not enough yet to get me really thrilled, and just them throwing barbs at each other verbally does not just thrill me right now. Adding in Kevin Owens is great. I love Kevin Owens. He's fun. But once again, I still don't see the Kevin Owens connection with Jericho just because he wants to have Jericho's back. It kind of is a weak thing for me right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I just don't feel like I'm invested right now.
I think this is more of an example of them trying to do a little bit of long-term booking here, because obviously Enzo and Cass are going to go over whatever Jericho and KO have going on here, and I'm assuming KO will turn on Jericho at some point, and you'll have Jericho facing KO, and then Owens will go over him, hopefully, and you have some long-term ideas for what you're going to do with Kevin Owens post-Jericho, and Jericho can go do whatever he wants after that, but probably tour with Fozzy, I would hope. But at any rate, just Jericho and Enzo are not the two guys you want in the ring together. And for what does it say, 10 minutes? Jericho's slow. Enzo isn't terrific by himself. And I don't know. It doesn't sound like a match made in heaven, if you ask me.
No, and it makes me really wonder if the only reason they did this week is for maybe next week for them to have Kevin Owens go against Kaz. Mm-hmm. And I that's fine. That's fine for me. I wish they'd announce it, though. And if they did, I missed it, but I don't think they announced that. And so, see, another missed opportunity there, because that excites me if I'm getting to hear that that's going to be happening. And once again, this was fine. Nothing bad in this. I mean, I love Chris Jericho, probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But just this is just not heated up enough for me to get too involved in, if I should say it that way.
That's fair. Certainly, I think y'all pretty much summed that thing up right there. So we should, we get Braun Strowman squashing another jobber. They did the interview backstage this time, so they didn't get to do the whole in the ring stuff that they've been doing there with Byron Saxton, which I thought was a little bit upsetting. Always better to get that. It's Braun. Yeah, it's Braun squashing people. So
it is just a squash, and it's not that great. But let's be honest. I do like the change up. I know it's not as fun as it is to see the guy getting interviewed in the ring and watching Strowman walk down the aisle and seeing the fear in their eyes. I did like the change up a little bit here because, it's one of those, this isn't something that we haven't shown before, so let's change it up. Even though it's the same thing, we're going to change it up. He gets to walk out second while Strowman waits in the ring. I like that addition. Once again, it's a squash, but I do like the change up.
It's a squash. The production change-up sounds a little nice. Obviously, there's only so much you're going to get a guy to say week to week, but, we're at where we're at with Braun, and I don't know how long this is going to go, but we'll see what happens.
Sean, do you like the ploy on the fact that the kid was scared out of his mind? Like, he joined, it was going to be part of this, and he couldn't even talk. So I like it.
It's better than they've understood that they've kind of made the jobbers the stars of the thing the last couple of times, especially James Ellsworth, who's become such a huge deal now off the first one. I think they wanted to make sure that the deal was on Braun this time, which is fine. That's who you're highlighting at the end of this anyway. Gary, I don't know if Skype is being evil to you tonight.
Am I being robotic still?
Sometimes it's like you go in and out. It's not your fault, obviously, because you go back out of it. So I don't know. Skype is just. Oh, you want to try? Oh, you can't. You can't disconnect because then it kills our video.
It does kill the video, and I think the video is the reason this is happening because it does that every episode. You just don't get to be on my side of the fence. I get to get disconnected from you guys quite a bit during the show usually. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it slows down. I hear you talk, you stop, you come back in. It's just the way this thing works with Call Note. Very weird.
It might just be the pull on your laptop. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
it's doing to the extra power it's having to use. Probably that might be
Probably.
something. I don't know.
Probably so.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out at some point. But we do get, part of one of the attractions of this Raw was Mick Foley had told Daniel Bryan that he welcomed him to Raw on the show, or he would eventually, so they could sort of get this thing with Brock and Orton, them crossing over shows kind of dealt with. So you're going to get a lot of Foley on this show because Stephanie, I guess, is getting ready for the Australia-New Zealand tour, or just not there, or whatever. She was not there on this show, which actually was sort of refreshing. You just get Foley, but you get a bit more general manager influence than I think we have seen in a little bit for the past two shows. You get him with Sasha Banks, and Sasha Banks talks about how she wants a handicap match at SummerSlam. She just wants to take care of Dana Brooke and Charlotte, and then Foley makes a match for later on Raw where it's just her and Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke. And if Sasha wins, then she gets a one-on-one match at SummerSlam. Dana Brooke wins. She gets the handicap match instead. So once again, adding context to what we're seeing. Totally appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. And appreciate that even in little things, guys. Like, we've noted that they are not using the actual... When they're talking about the tag team title reign that New Day have, they're talking about the WWE tag titles, the ones that were made for SmackDown in the original brand split. Well, in a little bit of a side note, like right after he mentions that, he actually mentions that Demolition holds the World Tag Team title reign, the longest reign, for 478 days. And that's actually really nice that they do stuff like that and make us understand that we're not dumb. We can look up things and understand that actually really isn't the longest reign, but it's nice. And speaking of New Day, you get the one spot with Sean, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever the hell he's calling himself these days, Combs, and Mick Foley still backstage. Is also a very nice, subtle plug for Booty-O cereal, as everybody was eating Booty-O cereal during this. And, of course, Diddy is now, he's kind of pulling the Jay-Z role that Jay-Z does he's done for the last couple of years. I think Drake did it one year as well for the NBA 2K games, where he does the soundtrack. Well, Diddy is doing the soundtrack for WWE 2K17. So that's also why he was there. And he's also going to be on the ESPN segment on Tuesday. So they're doing this injury angle with Big E. And here they just sort of do the thing with Booty-O's. And then later you have a Dr. Gallows Anderson segment as well, which I thought was really funny. What did you think of all the stuff here with Foley being involved various times throughout the show here, Gary? Whether it's in-ring or backstage, he makes the Rusev match with Cesaro later. He tells Rusev that he's got the match with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. What did you think of the general manager involvement here?
It wasn't too bad. I think they went pretty heavy on it. You just mentioned several different places that Foley was on this show, and yes, it was well fitted. It needs to be, but I think some of it probably could have done without Foley at times. I'm a big Foley fan, and I'm not hating on the guy, not hating on the work he did, and he's entertaining. But it did seem at times they were kind of overusing the general manager, if you ask me. But once again, I mean, there's a reason they're doing it. They're still getting people used to it, and not only that, hey, it pays for that new suit that Foley's wearing. So I mean, he's got to get his use out of it, I guess. But it wasn't so bad. I love the fact that they kind of talk about Big E not being there during that whole New Day segment with P Diddy, and of course you got Foley there. That makes a lot of sense. They kind of gave you a little bit of what's going on, and I enjoyed that. Of course, the cheap pop for the Booty-O cereal was kind of funny too. So it was nice to see. But for the most part, the Foley thing was fine. I didn't have any problems with it. Just thought it was a little overexposed.
Obviously, I don't know how this plays out, but it sounds like smart booking and very different wrinkle to the tag team division, and especially the New Day. When you have a 3-man team, you can do stuff like this because Big E is obviously the House of Fire comes in and wrecks shop at the end of their matches, as you've seen throughout their entire title reign this go around. So switching out to make it Kofi and Xavier, who are much smaller than Carl and Gallus, makes a lot of sense. So them mocking him and targeting Big E and all this stuff is good stuff. I don't know how much a fan I am of all the GM involvement. It sounds like some of it is pretty forced, especially the segment where him and Brian are talking. But I mean, if you didn't have the cross-band promotion thing going on for SummerSlam, I don't think any of this would be happening right now. So
yeah, they did revolve it around the Brock and Orton thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I will say, one of the best freaking things on the show was the Brock and Orton video package that they aired, going through the history of OVW and how Brock doesn't give a crap about that. He doesn't even respect Orton. He doesn't see Orton as anybody, but he's a B-level guy, and Brock is like A+ level guy. I thought that came off so well between both men, and it's where WWE shines, honestly. Because you see it later when Finn Balor gets his time to talk, so much better in these pre-produced things than he is when he's actually there live talking. And they played to his strengths there too, because it looks like he's sitting on a casket or something. He's sitting on this small, like laptop-sized casket or whatever it is. But they played well to sort of. Gary, could you believe that they actually talked about the meaning of Finn's name? And showed like all that stuff with the mythology in Ireland and all that. I was like, I can't believe they're letting him talk about that. You would think that would just go over so many people's heads.
I really thought it was awesome, personally. I thought that was great for them to do, because if you ask me, a lot of fans that don't know Finn Balor are a little confused on why they should like him, why they should be interested in him. This gives him a reason. This kind of showcases who he is, where he came from. I love that. I love the fact that even Seth Rollins points it out during his promo, about Seth Rollins, about Finn Balor's name and all that kind of stuff. So I loved it. I loved all the imagery. They showed all the imagery of, the old, I guess you would say, paintings or storybooks, whatever they had of those old Irish legends. So it made a lot of sense. It really did, to kind of play that into the end result being basically Finn Balor saying that he's going to meet the Demon, that Seth Rollins will meet them. So very interesting, and I'm kind of shocked me. I didn't think they were going to use the Demon this quick. I thought they were going to wait a little bit before they used him.
And Rollins cut one hell of a promo as well. I thought again he delivered promo wise. There, just talking about, he covered some stuff from last week, but man, I thought he was super strong there, and he's just gotten so good at doing the Triple H type. I'm going to go out there, I'm killing about 15 minutes, but you're going to listen to every word I say, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to agree with you on the old Orton and Lesnar package. Wow, I mean, because I originally thought this is going to be stupid, it's going to be the same stuff I can fast forward through this. No, actually, it was really good, and they kind of gave you some history, OVW stuff, and all that. So I like that. That made a lot of sense to me, and it was also nice to see that Brock Lesnar just doesn't give a F about Orton. I thought that was good.
The really fun thing that I like about this entire Brock Lesnar Randy Orton match is that this is something that could have main evented so many times in the past 10, 12 years if Brock had never left. And it's such a fun, it's almost like a what if scenario happening here at SummerSlam this year. Like this could have been something more, because this is clearly two guys who, if you go back here watching 2003, 2004, who WWE was banking on to carry them for the next 10 years, and it worked out for one of them, and the other one left to do something else. So that's really fun. I'm not surprised at all that Finn's breaking out the Demon this early for SummerSlam. It makes sense. He's got the big match for the big title the first time, all this other stuff. And then going into background about him, that's what I've been wanting for so long for the WWE to go back to, giving us character exposition, talking about meaning, telling us why these guys matter, and it sounds like they knocked it out of the ballpark with this segment.
I mean, we were
Yeah,
talking about Jericho and Owens. So go ahead. Sorry, Curry.
Oh no, I want to mention. Say if you're, I basically want to ask you this question, Paul, really quickly before we move on to the next thing. Okay, so I've no Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, whatever names he's used in the past. The only reason I was a little bit surprised about the Demon thing was because I kind of find it's important. Yes, he used it in NXT multiple times, but those times were very big matches. Not that this isn't a big match. This is definitely a big match. But my question about this is this going to be too soon only because maybe he could lose? Or do you really go into this thinking as Finn Balor, the Demon, he's going to win?
I think if you watch NXT, you have good reason to think he's going to win. He's lost before as a Demon. Obviously, he lost to Joe dressed as the Demon and all that good stuff. I think it's more that they want to show you the complete package of Finn across an entire month. So you have the introduction, you've seen him wrestle, you've seen him work, and now you get to see the really cool part about him, which is the Demon thing, the whole body paint, the very different take he has when he's wrestling as the Demon. And, I won't be surprised at all if him and Seth go 20, 25 minutes at SummerSlam. I really won't. And I think these are two guys that you're counting on to really knock the ball out of the park as far as wrestling goes. And I think they're more than up to the task. And when you have, if you're going to have Finn go over, there's no better way than to let him do it as the Demon. So, kudos to them for going this far with the character and really getting the machine behind Finn going into this match.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I really hope that is the case. And my only fear is that maybe he is the Demon and loses. Yes, I get it. He lost in NXT as the Demon, but we're talking about a new audience here, and I really don't think they're going to respect the Demon part of his character if he does lose. But that's just me.
Well, if you believe things that are going around right now, apparently the lead thought is that Finn actually might win. Mm-hmm. So, just saying, it's out there that
there's really no better way than to really announce a new era by making Finn the champ for Raw right off the bat. I think that's a good idea, and it's creative. It's very creative of them.
Yeah, because SmackDown's doing their new era thing with Apollo Crews and the Intercontinental title, and I could definitely see, as long as Miz has held that IC title, I can definitely see Apollo winning that as well to sort of bring that in for SmackDown. So, I mean, I think, like you said, Paul, it's not only that. I think it's just they seem to be very high on him, and you started the whole making a star on Raw. You need to finish it at SummerSlam. I don't think you can play that card of, well, if he looks really good in the loss, it doesn't hurt him. He's so new. I don't know that you want him to take a big loss like that yet.
That's my fear.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very fair point. But at the same time, you got somebody who's, they've banked on before and has done very well in Seth. And, I won't say losing will make Finn look like a bed of roses, but if he does look good, I don't know if you're going to have too many gripes, especially if he takes Seth to the limit and, all that stuff. It just all depends on how they book it out,
Especially because you're probably going to have that with Dolph and Dean.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to do that twice? Where you're both your the guy that everybody expects to be champion and Seth wins, and then your champion that you already have is the one that retains. You got to do a surprise of one of those. I think, right? Or
unless they're banking on the surprise being that AJ goes over Cena.
True. That's also possible.
Or
that would feel like not a surprise, but it would feel like that needs to happen because of Cena not being around so much.
Right. I'm absolutely with you there, but they might feel like that's a surprise enough of AJ beating Cena again.
True. Gary, what do you think? You think that they have to pull a surprise at one of the two big titles?
I kind of feel like it would be helpful, at least with one of them. I think that for me personally, I definitely want to see Finn Balor do well, and I want him to win, especially since he's got that Demon character thing going. But if it wasn't for that, I would honestly love to see AJ Styles win and beat John Cena as maybe a big surprise, because I think all of us going into SummerSlam would just look at this as Cena's already booked the victory. He'll move on and do American Grit, and we'll go on and see where AJ's next thing is. But I kind of feel like the Demon character for Finn Balor, I think that's the big part right now. I've got to hang on that, so I'm hoping that's the big surprise.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we'll have to see what they decide to do with that. I mean, you also got the surprise of maybe Randy Orton wins and beats Brock. That's another. I mean, hell, they could just make that whole show a full surprise. I mean, it is SummerSlam, and it would be the final cross-branded thing that they have for a couple months. So that would be the show to sort of really usher in a whole, okay, this is what you're getting for WWE now. Expect expect the unexpected has kind of been their motto, sort of they've really wanted to do with these shows. Especially, even though it seems like one that we thought we were going to get, a guy we thought that was going to be returning is apparently not for a while now, but we'll talk about that on the other show. But just, yeah, it would go along with their motto if they do pull a lot of these matches being a surprise. But, talking about surprises, guys, a sort of, I don't know if it was a surprise necessarily that it happened, but Sami Zayn beats Kevin Owens clean at Battleground. What the hell? Where's he at? What's he doing? Like, how are we doing nothing with Sami Zayn right now?
I'm a little bit surprised myself. I mean, Sami Zayn has been a big part of the shows when we, got this thing going early with Raw. But now all of a sudden he's kind of disappeared, and maybe it's something we don't know. Maybe, I'm not saying injury, but maybe they're gonna put him back on the shelf for a little while and let him do some maybe live events, but not let him do TV. We saw with Sasha Banks leading up to this whole big women's championship, thing for her, that they had her away from TV for a while. Maybe, I'm not saying that Sami Zayn's up for a big title run or anything like that, but maybe they've got him stashed away for another big bout coming our way. And, of course, that'll also kind of cool down a little bit more of that heat between him and Kevin Owens.
I mean, they really should have jumped on that, though, and put him right in the U.S. title picture. I don't know. The only thing I got for you is
they had to put that other guy.
Yeah,
on.
The guy.
The guy, yeah.
Well, I mean, really, what could he be doing right now, though? It seems like they've got almost everything else set.
I mean, the U.S. title picture looks to be in flux from what I've been reading about all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that they could pull It seemed very definitive, though, that, okay, Cesaro lost, even though you did have the ref bump or whatever. Could they do it because Roman's still not really getting the reaction that they want? I guess it's possible. Could they pull those Cesaro and Sami Zayn as a pre-show match, I guess, maybe, as your two contenders to whoever... I'm not going to complain about that match, obviously, but I guess that's possible. But other than that, I just don't see anything other than them just doing a random battle royal. And okay, well, this is how we get him in there. But as far as a match goes, it's they got really nothing. He lost to Seth, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I discussed Darren Young just a little bit ago. The worst thing on this show, vomiting worst segment. They had Titus O'Neil doing that vomiting gimmick for a while. I mean, I feel like they just vomited on Raw for 2 minutes. Just, what the hell was that?
I don't know. I just can't figure it out. I mean, why you would sit there and do that for that long? It is what it is. I mean, I get it. They want to showcase Darren Young somehow, but come on, let's think of something better than that.
I mean, yeah, I get it. Titus cheated last week, so they got to have Darren cheat this week. But jeez,
I'm just surprised you didn't see more reaction out of the coach there. Because don't you think he would be yelling and screaming? He wasn't. I don't know. Maybe Bob Backlund didn't have his crazy pills in today. He was just, kind of just there.
Maybe he was just shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, he was trying to pick up Darren Young and everything after the match. I almost felt like he was going to give him like a backdrop suplex. What's going on here? You going to turn on Darren?
Oh, man. That's hilarious.
That would, just, let me tell you about that. Just talk about, these were tag team partners that apparently just have no chemistry in ring, or just Titus is that bad. One of the two.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope it'd be better. You really do, because, I mean, they were former tag team partners. You'd think that they would have some kind of chemistry, but it's like fitting, a square peg in a round hole. It really is, and that's not a sexual reference. I'm just saying. It's interesting.
That's a pretty normal reference.
Okay.
You had to throw in the sexual stuff.
Getting confused because I'm talking about Darren Young. I didn't want them to get confused. So
makes you feel any better, Gary? I was on the same page you were.
Thank you. See, at least someone's got that mind. My wife gave it to me. That's why I lie and tell people that. But anyway, my point being is, you would think it worked better. I would think it'd be a better situation for both these guys. But I hope they get this done and move on, because it's kind of boring.
Yeah, this seems like a pre-show match. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, they came into this with nothing going for Titus, and Darren's only had the Make Darren Great segments again, and nobody's really gotten into it. I mean, call it a wash. Move on.
Well, not to bring this up again, but, you gave me a great segue with the square peg and round hole reference. Neville and Sin Cara being a tag team against the Dudleys. Neville wins with the Red Arrow. Bubba was pissed at Devon. I don't know. Is Bubba finally going to get a singles run here? I don't know, but Sin Cara and Neville is a tag team. All right.
It seems like night of the mixed tag teams, guys. Yay or nay? And I'm more on the nay part. It's just, I get it. Yes, it's a theme. Both these guys are small. We're going to put them together. Okay. Kevin Owens, Jericho, good heels. We're going to put them together. Come on. But I guess I get what they're getting, into here. They've got to have a way for them to face somebody. The good, tag team to face is the Dudleys, or the heels, or the good, guys if you want heat. Okay. I get it. Just not that great. Just, it was fine. If you want to talk about ring work, everybody involved did fine. But at the end of the day, it was just a way to really make Neville look good.
Yeah, I mean, Canadians attract Canadians, and Flippies attract Flippies, Gary. That's what they're going with here.
I guess you're right.
Works on that.
Yeah, there you go. At least in theory, it works.
Yeah, I mean, at least Sasha and Dana Brooke had a better match than the last time they had a match. So I appreciate that aspect. Sasha Banks wins, and we're having the singles match on SummerSlam like we would expect. But hey, gotta see Dana improved a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, she, must have been working, a little extra overtime and trying to get back to where she at least needs to be, and that's average. She does need to be better than average, but hey, I'm glad having average, especially out of her. So I'm okay with this, no problem. All this makes sense. I really felt like there was really going to be a possibility that Dana Brooke could have won this match because of the fact that the stipulations here that Foley gave was, of course, Dana Brooke, she wins, then that means that she gets to be involved, and it's a handicap match for the title. If not, Sasha Banks gets what she wants, and she gets Charlotte alone, and no Dana Brooke at ringside. I like that part of it. It makes sense. This match isn't bad. They had the controversy in, so it seems like to me that we're getting closer and closer and leading up to eventually Charlotte just booting Dana Brooke because she's not doing any good. I mean, we do TNA on our regular show, and there's another person kind of like Dana Brooke, if you ask me, Allie, who's a much better wrestler. Let me just say that first of all. But Allie kind of plays that role of someone who's kind of an ambassador. But I think she's a better ambassador than Dana Brooke, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, let's hope that's true. Because if Charlotte gives Dana the boot, she needs to go right back down to NXT because she's not ready. She's just not main roster ready yet.
She's not.
But why build all this heat, Sean? Why build all this heat on Dana? Because Dana is definitely doing all this wrong. To me, Charlotte doesn't seem patient. Her father wasn't doing that much wrong, and she booted him. It seems like she would boot Dana for a lot less, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, she thought that her protege was going to do better than her dad, and she's not, and she has a shorter leash right now. If you're going to be on her side, then you got to be profiting for her, and she's not doing anything for her, so why have her there?
Yeah.
They did have a nice story, as I sort of alluded to earlier, with Mick Foley getting involved. They did have a nice story throughout the show of the Sheamus and Cesaro. They gave the context for that as well. These two are having the match because Sheamus thought that after what happened last week, that okay, I want my rematch. I want a rematch, and Cesaro ends up winning anyway. They did sort of allude to a ref bump, but they didn't do it there. And Cesaro wins with a roll up, and then later on in the main event segment, with Foley telling Cesaro, "Well, Roman's still getting his shot at SummerSlam, but you're getting your shot right now." Because he's beaten Sheamus twice. And they go on to have a good little 12, 15-minute match. Possibly, both matches that went any kind of time involve Cesaro, so they're going to be good. I like the match of Rusev. Those two have some good chemistry going. And Cesaro has the ref bump. He had a pin. Ref's not there. Rusev winds up winning. Almost, because Sheamus gets involved in the match at the end. Maybe Fatal 4-Way going on with for the U.S. title, it looks like. Or do you think we have Cesaro and Sheamus again for a third time in a pre-show match or something like that?
I mean, what better way than to make Reigns strong than for him to beat three guys who are big?
I really hope it's just an illusion, not have Roman win and Cesaro wins or something. Just let me tell you though, the crowd was into one of the hottest pops from that crowd all evening was when Foley made the announcement that Cesaro would have his match right then. It was Bryan making the illusion that, hey, we could use you on SmackDown, Cesaro. You're being a little underutilized. And the crowd totally agreed and started chanting yes at that notion. Cesaro fans are there, Gary.
Yes, they are, and I'm glad to see it. They did show up a little bit here. I think Cesaro's awesome. I'm a big fan of his, but it just makes me really wonder why they do all this and why they are doing this, because it just seems like the one place that the U.S. title is probably pointed to, if Rusev's not holding it, very much is Roman Reigns. Now, once again, maybe just throwing him in the mix, and they are going to do that, Fatal 4-Way, which I would actually love to see. I'm really not thrilled about just seeing Rusev facing off against Roman Reigns.
You've just done Sheamus. For one, don't forget about this, Gary, but there were so many times that Rusev used to face Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
And Roman Reigns would beat him.
Mm-hmm.
With not much trouble, and you've already seen Cesaro Sheamus twice. Do you really need to see it again? Fatal 4-Way makes sense to just not overuse matches so much.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, that's my thing. I think it just works so much better. I don't care who it is. Rusev versus Cesaro, Rusev versus Roman Reigns, or even Sheamus. I don't want to see that singles match. I just want to see them all in the ring. It just works.
I mean, I think a fatal 4-Way between all four of those guys would be really fun. They're both big. They all can move. You'd have a really fun match on your hands, and it would at least keep the finishing question, because as much as Cesaro's getting, Reigns is still the guy, and Rusev is Rusev right now. So other than Sheamus being the odd man out as far as winners go, you have some interplay you could go with there.
Yeah, and the only thing we haven't talked about is the dud of a segment that was the Lana and Rusev wedding celebration. That was just, man, it was boring. And then Roman Reigns doing a toast, which involves Roman Reigns having to talk for longer than a few seconds. Oh, not good. Why? Like, you guys know that he's just not the guy to have a long promo at all, and you do this to him. He does come off like a dick, but people just don't really care for, I mean, not care, but they actually do hate Rusev. So, or they just don't care about him, one of the two, because Lana did get what chant and everything else during this, which, man, Lana looked amazing in that wedding dress. But, you know, I just, whatever.
Yeah, so really this kind of reminded me of a lot of the old wedding segments in a way that they've done before. It also reminded me of the 80s in a way. I don't know
Because they've
why.
had Stephanie do the cake spot before, right?
Yeah.
She goes into a cake, yeah.
Yeah, and the roar, the whole roar thing. How many times have we seen that on a highlight reel? They try to recreate that. That didn't go over well, if you ask me personally. You're not going to recreate Stephanie doing the whole screaming lady thing. That just doesn't work. She's just that's almost the poster child. So this was. I'm trying to think how to phrase it. This wasn't awful, but it wasn't all that entertaining. I think Roman Reigns came off a little bit better than he has in the past, but still, as much as you try to play it off like he's the cool cat, as he's the guy coming to crash the party, I still am not buying into it. I feel terrible. I want to in a way, so I can maybe join in with that redemption of Roman Reigns craze that Vince McMahon is trying to get us all to get into. I just not. He's not Cool Hand Luke. He's just not that guy. I feel bad for saying it, but he's not winning me over in there. In fact, you know, the sad thing is, guys, when I saw Roman Reigns and with the beverage in his hand and all that, the first thought I thought was, wow, this would be the perfect guy to take on that whole Adam Rose character. I think he should do that. Yeah, that probably work better than this whole cool hand Luke thing. So I don't know, man. I feel bad for all parties. This was just not that great, to be honest with you.
And then they waited so long. It felt like it was forever. Like, I guess they wanted to see if they could get a Roman Reigns chant going or something. I don't know. And then no one cared when he came out. Like, it was just boos or just like 10 people in the crowd chanting for him. And it's just, Paul, just, ugh.
It sounds bad, it reads bad, and it reads like Reigns is the heel, for God's sakes. He's the guy crashing the wedding and he throws the bride in the cake. What a dick. Uncool, Reigns. Be better.
Yeah. I know. But once again, I will say this. I mean, even though all
and then also Foley stacking the odds against Rusev twice on the damn show.
Yes, exactly. And through all that, you still want to hate Rusev because he's Rusev. You want to hate him, but it's hard not to still hate Roman Reigns, even through all that. So
there was nothing likable about Roman in that segment.
No. The only good guy here is Cesaro, and that's because he's James Bond. Everybody loves James Bond.
That's right. Oh, he just needs his own Q, right? Is that his name? Q, the guy that makes all the stuff. He needs to get that guy involved. But yeah, I agree. No winners in this one.
Well, I think that does it for Raw.
All right, guys.
I think we do need to do a rating, though.
You know, there was some things in this show.
I'm going to say a 6 again.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was going to go into that. 6 is right where I'm at as well. I think that this had some decent parts, but for the most part, it was just not that great. The video packages sometimes were a lot more entertaining in this show than just the show itself. So yeah, I'm in agreement with you. A 6. And the biggest part of the show, which was supposed to be the wedding thing, just fell flat. So you got to stay there.
It reads like a Bret Hart special to me, guys. 4 out of 10.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the wrestling is nothing special. You know,
got
again,
the 2 good video segments and
Yeah.
the fun at the beginning. It's sounds like an hour out of 3 is worth your time.
yeah. I mean, the Cesaro matches are still good. They're just not like, I don't think you need to go out of your way to see them or anything. But yeah, just it's another one of these. Just okay. There's Raw. It's gonna be interesting with SmackDown on tomorrow because a lot of the guys are going for the New Zealand and Australia tour. So we'll have to see with what we get with what's left of what is a very small roster already.
Let's hope we get some build on these guys that they haven't done anything with in forever.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe we'll get lucky and have a Heath Slater main event. You never know.
Slater
Heath Slater Rhino, right?
Great. What are we watching?
Rhino squashes him in like a minute, and they're good.
I know. But yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting. So everyone, you need to go check out that big show tomorrow. That's right, Wrestling to the Max SmackDown live review. That'll be Tuesday night, of course, right after SmackDown. It'll also be on demand in the morning, on Wednesday morning for you guys. So go check it out. Don't miss that. Just like this review, it's going to be a lot of fun, lots of great opinions, and you don't want to miss a minute. And just to let everybody know, once again, I was a little bit robotic, probably still robotic a little bit here. I'm trying to get through it. But just to let you know, we do have part 1 and 2 of episode 207 for Wrestling to the Max this week coming your way. You don't want to miss a minute of the action. That'll also be available for you on Tuesday morning and, of course, on Friday morning for you guys. So that's just a little bit of info for you guys. Of course, the W2M network. You don't want to miss a minute of that action either. We got lots of great podcasts for you guys to go check out. Don't miss any of them. Lots of cool content for you guys. So we want to, hopefully provide as much entertainment as we can, and hopefully we helped you get through your lunch hour, your way or way home from work. Hopefully made it entertaining for you guys. So. And besides that, we are going to catch you guys on the flip side, and we'll be seeing you guys soon. But until then, if you're not living life to the max,
You're not living life at all.
You know it.
Please.
Later.